Hello again everyone, and I've just recently shot a video about my channel improvements, the things that I'm hoping to do, corrections that I want to make. And this video stems from something that I identified in myself recently, and that, you know, maybe I am offering an opinion that's too biased, that is too focused on me. But in particular, it was the amount of moaning that I was doing, you know, in videos. And I thought to myself, you know, if I'm moaning, that's fine, but I have to be able to present the argument for the other side. So apparently this is what journalists do, and I'm not a journalist. And I don't really want to be a journalist either. What I want to do is offer my opinion that is honest and truthful, and any normal person could consider is fair and reasonable based on what I'm exposed to. And I thought to myself, you know, it's fine to offer an opinion, but I have to, you know, be unbiased, and I have to be fair and reasonable about it. So, you know, I actually took down a few videos, and I thought to myself, you know, I should go through all the videos, and I should measure them against through the lens of entertainment, my opinion being fair and reasonable, and educational. And so recently I had spoken about a problem I'm having with something called an activation lock. Now, this is an electronic thing that Apple offer when you buy their products, and it's there to enable you to synchronize your electronic data across all the devices of Apple products. Now, when you create this ID, it could be considered that a company, well, Apple, the creator of it, they can consider it the owner of those products. But essentially, this ID is there to enable the synchronization of your data across devices. And, you know, on the most part, it's there to perform a really helpful, you know, function because it provides you with this synchronization. And it allows you to control your devices. Anyway, I have personally experienced problems with this, and because I had an iPhone stolen, and as a result of that event, I've had problems relating to that iPhone being stolen. And so I've had to go through the process of considering that I might have had my identity stolen, and the thief will have had access to all my data that was on the stolen iPhone, and potentially all the data that's absolutely everywhere as a result of that iPhone being stolen. You know, so of course that, you know, that's a very concerning thing, and it's just something that I have to deal with, and I have been performing all the actions I can do to safeguard myself around the event of having your ID stolen. Right, so that's all in progress. And now also what's in progress is I've been chatting to Apple. I've been asking them for help. In fact, I've been begging them for help. And I've been asking them for them to give me access back to my Apple ID so that I can access my hardware. Now, to date, so far, I still haven't been able to do that. This process is very procedural. You have to provide proof of ownership and things like that. And they have to be satisfied that everything's correct and in order. And then they are able to give you back your ID. And then you can continue function. In my case, I've got 2 items that are still activation locked to my old compromised hardware, and I am having difficulties accessing that old ID, and it's preventing me from accessing my hardware. Now that process is still in place. It's really unfortunate because in effect what it means is that not only have I lost an iPhone and all the data on that iPhone, and I'm also subject to identity theft, but in effect I've also lost the use of 2 pieces of Apple hardware that also use that old Apple ID. Now, I'm sure that there is a process within Apple, it might be technical, might be complicated, I might have created errors, I don't know, that allows me to once again gain access to my hardware, and ultimately that is what I'm wanting. And and I can understand that Apple have, members of the support team of Apple have been super with me. They've been great, they've been very helpful, and they have really tried very hard to go through all the internal processes to allow me to gain access to my Apple hardware. And that process is in place, and it's still in place, and it's been months now. But I have to accept that a company like Apple has thought about everything. They have safeguards in place. They have demonstrated to me that they're doing their best. And and I just have to roll with the punches, and hopefully this will result in me gaining access to my hardware. Now, what's interesting is that chatting to people, I have been advised that every electronic device that has had access to my identity, that has had access to my old Apple ID, I should not even touch out of the possibility of further risk. And I thought, well, gosh, that's quite serious. Because these items, firstly, are quite expensive, and number 2, there's massive amounts of valuable information. In fact, all my work information is there. So this is really horrifying. And I thought, well, so what you're telling me is that if I gain access to my hardware items, I shouldn't even touch them. Indicating that you just replace everything. And I thought, wow, this is ridiculous. I can't do that because you're talking about a financial impact on me. Now, luckily, I did have backups of everything that I believe are clean, that are at a state where are at an electronic state before my Apple iPhone was stolen. So therefore, in theory, backing up to those old backups should be safe. Also, today and since the theft of that iPhone, I have actually created a brand new Apple ID, and as far as I'm aware, I'm not operating or functioning from anything that could be contaminated as a result of my iPhone being stolen. Now, I don't really know, but I think I've done everything in my power to safeguard this. Plus, I've erased every single item that I own, and I've rebuilt every single electronic item. So, I have felt, that I've done the right thing, and that should have safeguarded me or limited me from other possible risks associated to losing an identity and being losing my Apple ID and being subject to identity theft. So I think I've done everything as best as I can to mitigate that, and so far things seem okay, but I'm still missing a little bit of money that was also stolen from me, and that's also in progress. So hopefully that will be resolved too. Anyway, so I wanted this video to correct that situation, because I actually felt that other things I'd said fell short of my own standards. And once again, my standards are educational, entertaining, and a balanced, fair opinion. And I think they fell down on a balanced, fair opinion. So today, in this video, what I wanted to do is, I've been talking to people that are very helpful. I understand that these companies are very large, and they have thought about, bad things happening, and they have safeguards in place, and they have processes in place to make things better. So I'm just acknowledging that. So that sort of concludes what I'm thinking here. And so those things are still in progress. Maybe I will talk about them again. Hopefully we're going to come to a resolution. It certainly is a great learning experience for me, because it's allowed me to understand how a company like Apple actually functions internally, the way that they do decompartmentalize things and their processes. So there's lots of value there. And also just experience around talking to support staff and seeing how support mechanisms last. So that's all pretty good. But what it has done also, it's given me the cause to talk about the issues related to this. And the two issues I want to really talk about are safety, crime, electronic data. So if we remember those three things, personal safety, I mean, they're sort of related really. Well, two of them definitely are: safety and crime, and then personal data. Now, each of those are individual talking points themselves. I thought this is, great material for content, because I can actually make reference to my own experience in this area. So what I thought I would do is actually make another video titled something similar to that, and this would be the baseline for that video. Anyway, at that point, I thought I would end this video. I wanted to say, hello to everyone once again. And again, I apologize for the delay in content. I have been very busy with life. I've had it's August, it's hot. I'm in Notting Hill. I'm not complaining about that, but normally August is a very quiet time, but in my experience, I've never actually had an August so busy, so stressful, so concerning, quite a tough time with life. But everyone has a tough time with life. So I don't want to moan, and that is a good point actually. I've just moaned about something, but there again, I've just added that lots of people experience what I'm experiencing. So I've helped justify why I'm moaning. So that's really what I was trying to do. I was trying to make my videos, the opinions in my videos, balanced and fair, and then I can offer my opinion. Anyway, I must say ciao for now. I hope everyone is well, and I hope to speak to you all again soon. Goodbye for now.